Good afternoon, it's a Kerfuffle launch. Yes, don't get carried away yourselves. You know about this. Welcome everybody to Delighted, another Kerfuffle exclusive today. Tectonic plates are shifting in the world of suppliers and CRM everywhere. I'm delighted to have with me today Ross and Rich on from Dezrez with get the old drum roll on, the unveiling of your new Rezi property management lettings package. Guys, you're looking very relaxed, all considering.
Well, this is a culmination of a number of years of development and work in the background to get this outside. So we're super excited to be launching PM on the 23rd of March. But it's great to come and give you a little preview.
Look at you there, you've slipped. We were talking about the software today and you've slipped in the event, the evolution. We'll come back to that, don't worry, I'll give you yourself opportunity. Yeah, there's a really good story there to be talking about why people should be registering.
In Rezi PM, you can manage properties, tenancies, maintenance, and accounts. On the dashboard, you can quickly access your tenants' missing documentation, expiring certificates, and more. You can generate, update, renew, and end tenancies, as well as view the full rent cycle. You can raise and manage maintenance jobs, assign contractors, issue job sheets, and upload contractor invoices. In your accounts dashboard, you can view all of your funds, any arrears, and manage and protect deposits. Within the client account, you can view all transactions, perform reconciles, and view your batch payments. There are dedicated lists for all of the money due in, where you can receipt and allocate funds to collect rent and invoice payments, as well as the money due out list allowing you to pay your landlords and contractors.
So we're formally launching it on the 23rd of March at the Evolution event. You can go to dezrez.co.uk to sign up there. So please do if you haven't already. Free event, virtual event for anyone to attend. So as I said, we're really excited to get this out there now in the marketplace, and to give a little sneak preview there of some of the functionality. I'll let Ross talk about the detail. He's the expert on this, but it's just great to finally be able to get it out there and start talking about it. Well, absolutely. I mean, we've had a dedicated team on this for a couple of years now. It's taken 4 years really of the overall package to create it. As Ross said, gathering requirements, doing all the accounts research, all of that. When you're launching a PM product, you want to make sure that you've done all that testing, everything in the background around things like the accounts package and all those items, which are absolutely key to making sure when you launch a product like this, it's solid. So we've been working on it for a while. We've had a dedicated team doing it, and they're continuing to work on it throughout the rest of this year. So it's going to be launched, and then we're going to build out some more functionality, as Ross will tell you about in a sec.
I mean, that's definitely something we see. The inquiries come through. Everyone's looking for sales and property management together, and I think a lot of people are suffering that double entry of data into different systems and to try and get it to all work, and then it's out of sync in one system, and so it's quite exciting to be able to kind of bring that all together and to make sure that obviously it's all one set of data, one set of programs that all work together. And makes life a lot easier, I guess. And it simplifies things a lot, not only for our existing customers, but new customers coming along, makes it more intuitive, fewer programs to have to learn. And it's great for staff because you don't have to keep, training a new system and then, trying to get, double the work to try and keep everything sort of in sync. And it also makes for a tight integration. We have better, a better relationship in the front office and back office, making sure that nobody's kind of out of loop. And there's no breakdown in communication when it comes to looking at the data in your system.
Yeah, there's the marketing element there, not having to compile two sets of data from the sales and lettings department. Websites don't have to have two different sets of feeds with different, aspects and assets coming off the back of that. Management reporting doesn't sit in two different silos of data with different reporting structures. And then, of course, the key elements everyone would hope with the referrals between the sales and lettings departments. All of those are just 10 times harder if you don't have this aspect.
Yeah, so it's all one single database. There's no two separate databases or anything like that. It's in fact large portions of it are shared with Rezi. So there's only small elements like the accounting system is a good example, and the maintenance component that are a little bit different, but they all work. As the end user won't really notice any difference between the systems. But that's the nice thing about it. It all sits alongside. It all sort of inherits some of the same principles that Rezi currently has around the API and the access to third-party integrations and all those things that are great and positive about Rezi. They come along with Rezi PM too. We had a lot of focus groups set up, a lot of customers sort of running through prototypes, trying to understand exactly what people want to get out of the software. Is this what have they currently used? What's not quite working with that? So it's been quite a long process of sort of teasing through that data to get to what we have today. And I mean, we probably designed 60-70% of the software before we even wrote the first line of code. So that we were quite serious about really understanding what people wanted this time around, making sure that it's a solution that's future-proof, that'll take us through another 20 years, rather than something that's kind of not quite cutting the mustard and not doing the right job. Especially around things like legislation as it's changed. We want to make sure that this is designed for that legislation. It's the same sort of principles that you'd expect in Rezi, the simplification, taking processes that may well have taken, a number of people to do and streamlining that. And I think also the way in which you display data, I think over time, there's a couple of systems that have done a really good job at doing that. And we've tried to sort of, I wouldn't say copy, but take inspiration from those systems, and those ones that haven't really sort of worked. We've made sure we understood why they weren't working. And there's obviously, there's whatever we do, we're always looking at ways to reduce the amount of effort to do each individual element. So, good examples are the integration we have with Zapier. It's a nice way to ensure that property management data can be sort of fed into other systems. You can do a tremendous amount more with your data than you could otherwise do with a system that's really closed and fenced off, if you know what I mean. So, it's in line with the way we think. We like to sort of integrate with other providers. And as Rich has probably said a number of times on the show, our goal is to connect the property world. And hopefully that's what the API is going to allow us to do.
We pride ourselves on our support for our customers. So we have a UK-based support team who are available on the phone 5 days a week, and we've also got our customer portal as well, where customers can go and log issues and cases online. So and with a PM product, there's the things like the account side of things, which can be a little bit complicated. So we won't be teaching people how to do accountancy, but we'll definitely support our clients through that and any of the new elements that we bring into the software. But a lot of things that we said earlier on, when we started out on this journey, we wanted to make sure that this fulfilled the key elements for a client, from a property management perspective. And that's really what we're looking to do straight off the bat here, is to give something that clients can use from day one that's going to do all the things that they need to do to run their agency. So that's what we've aimed to do, and just taking on that feedback from customers to do that. So yeah, but obviously we've got that support package there for all our customers.
A lot of those solutions that people are stuck with for a long time. I think one thing that's often forgotten is they do the basics really well. They understand exactly what the customer needs to do, and they do it well, and they do it well every day. So I think there's a lot we're doing differently, but I think there's a lot that we've learned from competitors. I think we're trying to make sure we get those basics right before we take the next step and sort of innovate. But I think some of the improvements that we've made are a better support around legislation. I think we're probably one of the only, I venture to guess, one of the only property management solutions in recent years to launch. There hasn't been very many. So what's been quite nice about that is we've been able to bring a little bit more of the legislation in, a little bit more support for EICRs and right to rent and those sorts of things that often They obviously just get bolted onto existing systems. And we've also sort of looked at the deposit protection and release process and integrate that a bit tighter and a bit more natively into the software to make sure it's much smoother. We'll look at integrations with the deposit schemes over time, but at the moment we're just trying to make sure that their process is as good as possible. And then some sort of, I guess you could say, for the front office people, some boring items, but they are important around sort of the way in which accounts are structured, structuring on a per person and on a per property basis. And, it makes things like paying landlords substantially easier because, you don't have to do all sorts of gymnastics to try and generate the proper payment statement for a landlord's preferences. We track both of those structures and that makes it substantially easier to represent that statement to the landlord. So, it's a bit of, making sure we do the basics right, but also making sure that the next steps, we're moving beyond what the industry is doing. I think we've got some really, really exciting, should we say, skunk works projects going on in the background, but we're not ready to talk about those now. But in time,
okay,
it's
Fight Club rules, is it? Yeah.
I think a lot of the feedback's coming through is the simplicity. I know we keep going over this, but I think the idea is a lot of systems have 4 or 5 different steps to try and do something, and we're trying to sort of smooth that out to a single 1 or 2 steps. So I think a lot of the feedback we're getting is simplification of what is really a simple process, but in some cases been overcomplicated. And obviously the support for the legislation is handy, giving some sort of indication when there's an element of legislation that's missing. It just helps you stay compliant, should we say. So that's definitely coming through. I think also the Rezi, the Zapier integration, a lot of people are quite excited about that, the ability to sort of send your data off and do all sorts with it, whether that's, Google Docs or Excel, or maybe you want to run a mail campaign via MailChimp or something like that. That's really, really good part of Zapier. So I think the sort of interoperability of everything and the simplification is definitely something that's coming through. And hopefully we'll be a few more of those items as we develop the feature set out a little bit further.
Like the portal space was a bit dull a while back. CRM was getting, dare I say, a little bit sort of staid, a little bit boring. And I think what's happened recently with all this kind of Zapier stuff, you launching the accounts, other things happening, suddenly this is a really vibrant space again. And I think agents will benefit from that competition, won't they?
Yeah, absolutely, and I think that's the key, isn't it? We're doing this for our clients. At the end of the day, we want to let them have a stronger solution, which helps them, drive their businesses forward, and as Ross said, manage more properties with the same number of people they've got right now. So that's really key to this, and there's so much exciting technology coming out right now, and we can make the most of all of that. So that's really is the future, really.
Great. Well, look, Ross, thank you for spending your time. Obviously, congratulations to you and your team for getting that out there as well. Obviously, we want to hear from some of those clients in the future, letting us know how it's going and their real-life experiences. And I've just realised, looking at the calendar, that your event is actually next Tuesday, so I better get around to no, I won't get it all prepared, don't worry.
No, I'm worried.
Thanks, guys. Cheers. Bye-bye.
Brilliant. Thanks,
Cheers,
Simon.